Fox Business Alert, we've got the markets moving higher right now. But if you look back at 2025, boy, was it the year for certain ETFs. According to Morningstar's top-performing stock ETFs for last year, 4 out of the 5 belong to ARK Invest. Grabbing the number 1 and 2 spots were ARK's Autonomous Technology and Robotics ETF, which gained 48%, and ARK Space and Defense Innovations ETF up the same amount, 48%. At number 3, ARK Next Generation Internet ETF, that one gained 36%. And at number 5, flagship ARK Innovation ETF, that one gained 35%. And while everybody, it appeared, was selling during yesterday's market nosedive, ARK Invest CEO and CIO Cathie Wood was buying that dip. What did she scoop up? Well, she joins us live right now on the Claman Countdown. Cathie, great to have you. I do just want to ask you about the markets right now, because if you look at two-day charts, yesterday was the day to buy. Markets were certainly down. Dow, S&P, NASDAQ. I mean, the Dow was down more than 800 points. S&P down triple digits. It was a huge, huge drop. And then suddenly, back today, moving higher. What is it within you that says buy on a day like that? Because our viewers need to learn that if they're in for the longer haul.
Sure, and I think that's key, Liz, for the longer haul. So if you look at our Big Ideas report, and I know we're going to talk about that later, one of the things we're noticing is the hyperscalers are starting to design their own chips. Ultimately, they will compete against NVIDIA with ASICs, so the market will shift from GPUs to ASICs. So Broadcom is one of the companies or the stocks we've been buying because it's probably poised to benefit the most from that particular move. And to fund it, we are using stocks that even on a day like yesterday, I believe, were up, and those are in the defense tech space. So as you mentioned, our space exploration and defense fund, ARKX, has had a spectacular couple of years here. And one of the reasons is because of the defense buildup around the world. And now we saw, fever pitch fear yesterday around Greenland and so forth. And so we'll use days like that where the defense names are really getting a big boost to fund some of these other interesting names. We've also,
to that end, you sold a holding that has done very well for you. And this is all yesterday. You bought Broadcom, you sold Kratos. Kratos has had an incredible run up, 240% over the past year. Can you tell me what your cost basis was for Kratos? Like, at what price did you start average buying it?
Oh, my goodness. We have owned Kratos, I'm going to say, since we started the fund. So it's probably a tenth of where the current price is where we started.
Wow. Okay, so that's a good example of selling. Buffett's now doing that a little bit more, selling some of his favorites that have done so well. But go ahead.
Yeah, what I was going to say is Eric, the CEO of Kratos, I think has done a beautiful job of navigating his way through the defense sector and in the defense realm generally, partnering with the primes, but also being very agile and in a beautiful position for the new kind of warfare, drone technology.
You also were buying a nuclear energy stock. Today, Trump made some very positive comments about nuclear energy and how it's become much safer. What is the name that you scooped up yesterday?
Well, we have been scooping up Oklo, which is Sam Altman's small modular reactor company, and BWXT is another name we've been scooping up. To be honest, in terms of yesterday, that may have been an extended buy of Oklo. But you're right. This administration, with deregulation, is reigniting a nuclear boom that actually ended in the mid-'70s. We were on such a great trajectory, and then the regulators got involved. Sure, there were a number of accidents, but even as we have done our research around those accidents, nuclear is still one of the safest energy sources out there. But nonetheless, I think politics got in the way, regulators. So we are now starting down that cost trajectory again, which is so important when it comes to innovation, and especially when it comes to electricity now. I know the AI boom is starting to boost electricity prices. We think nuclear will help lower them over time.
Well, sure, and they've been on a run, but nonetheless, you feel that they have more of the runway. Autonomous tech and robotics, that ETF did very nicely. We just came from Consumer Electronics Show at the beginning of January, and the robotics that we saw aren't quite there yet. They're more humanoid. But what is your play in robotics?
So, well, the biggest play out there is Tesla, believe it or not. And it's not because of Optimus, the humanoid robot. It is because of the robotaxi. Robotaxis are robots. And in fact, they are the convergence among three of the major innovation platforms evolving today. So robotics, energy storage, and artificial intelligence. Those are the three involved in robotaxis. Those are the three involved in humanoid robots. And if our analysis is correct, a humanoid robot is going to be 200,000 times more complex to move into prime time than a robotaxi. And robotaxis have taken quite a bit of time. Nonetheless, because of the breakthroughs we're seeing in AI, we think a humanoid robot will be, I won't say fully functional, but almost there in 28 or 29.
I just want to let our viewers know that there are now some headlines, Cathie, coming out from NATO. A NATO spokesperson is saying that Mark Rutte, the head of NATO, with whom we just discussed, had a very productive meeting with President Trump during which they discussed the critical significance of security in the Arctic region as it pertains to Greenland. But we're not really getting the exact details of what the president's framework he said he struck with NATO looks like regarding it. They are saying that discussions among NATO allies on that framework will focus on ensuring Arctic security through the collective efforts of allies, especially the 7 Arctic allies. There is no mention that the United States will own Greenland, at least at the moment. Denmark, Greenland, and the United States will go forward, aimed at ensuring that Russia and China never gain a foothold militarily or economically in Greenland, that according to NATO. Cathie, what's the trade at this point?
Well, you know, as Greenland was reaching that fever pitch yesterday, we did take profits, as I mentioned, in some of the defense tech names. And I also think that Greenland is another kind of brick in the wall of worry that we have been climbing for the last several years. Last year, it was tariff turmoil, government shutdown. This year, it's Greenland and other saber rattling around the world, Iran, of course. So this is how very strong bull markets are made. They're not made during times like the tech and telecom bubble, when it was straight up and never look back. They are made when the strides are made as we're grappling with problems and assessing risks and understanding that there are risks out there. So this is a much better time, I think, to be investing in innovation. So pretty excited about it.
You know what? You're getting people excited about a lot of things. We do need to check the price of Bitcoin right now. Bitcoin over the past couple of days had really gotten hammered. If you look at the Bitcoin price at the moment, we do have it up $543, but it is still not above 91,000. It had been at 95,000 over the weekend. Cathie Wood is bullish on crypto. She's making a bold 2026 call on our stock market as well. More with Cathie Wood when we return. Stay with us.